Hey everyone. So I learned something when I shared a little bit of my Sarah, when I shared where we met. And that is that those good memories feel good. And it feels good to talk about them. Got a little choked up last time, and we'll see if that happens again. But talking about Sarah in a positive way instead of a missing longing way felt really good. So somebody in the comments asked how we as a family are doing living in the house where Sarah died. And this is a tough one. And I'm going to start first with mine and Sarah's conversation about that. About her dying in our house, because that changes, I think, how we go about living in our house now. So when Sarah was doing some of her plans, affirmative action type plans, she had on there that she did not want to die in her house, that she wanted to die in the hospital. And when I finally got around to being allowed to read it, I was like, wait a second, do we have to do this? Hospitals are super sterile and it's not as pleasant to visit. It's going to be uncomfortable, and it's not going to be as good of an experience as it can be. Not that death is a good experience, but you know what I mean. And then I went on to explain that when my grandma was dying, she was doing hospice in the house that she lived in, and there was kids there playing outside in another room. There was lots of emotions, lots of stress, lots of sadness, lots of anger, lots of happiness, lots of memories, lots of family coming together, lots of beauty, and a lot of people there to hold each other together. So after we talked about that, we decided to change her plan to die in her bed at home with her family. And she was worried prior to making that change that her dying there would make the home a sad place. And so now I'm going to go from there to where we are right now. And I'm going to say, yes, there are sad moments in our home, but it's our home. It was sad that she died here, but our family was here, supporting each other, holding each other, leaning on each other, loving each other, and there to support her. Yeah, we had nurses and stuff coming and helping, but our family got to grow, got to make memories, and got to bond and become a better family. Obviously, nobody wants death to be a part of their story, but it is. And so that's the second piece. First piece was the plan. Second piece was the actual action. Third piece is the story behind the house. It doesn't matter where she died. This house, this place, we built. This is our first home. Yeah. We were looking at homes all over in the Portland area, way out of our price range. We couldn't afford it. Our realtor was like, you should look in ESTACADA. And I was like, no, I will not. And finally, I gave in. We gave in. We were like, okay, fine, we will. We went out and we saw this whole new development area. And there was a street. The street that we're on, there was a couple houses. And we were like, okay, maybe. And then we looked at the price and we're like, heck yeah, let's do this. Let's pick a spot. And so we're looking around and we found this spot. And what is beautiful about this spot is it was one of the few spots. It's hard to tell because of all of our trees and stuff, but it was one of the few spots that actually had a path all the way down to the creek that's behind us. And so we were able to get down to this creek. How cool is that? And you know what? The spot didn't have a house. No house. We gotta pick a floor plan and we gotta modify it to how we wanted it. To some extent, we had a budget, a very small budget. We were first-time home buyers. We had to find a bank, which thankfully our credit union has a first-time buyer program where you don't need a down payment. That worked out really well for us. We didn't need a down payment. We got our first house. And then we had to wait a year for them to build it. We picked out the cabinets, the kitchen cabinets. Those cabinets were where we splurged. Sarah absolutely wanted the kitchen cabinets to be gorgeous. And so we splurged on that. And we're like, everything else can be modified as we get older. And we did. But we got to come in when our house was a skeleton and see it. We got to see just the foundation. Then we got to come back and we got to see some walls start going up. The frame. Then we got to sneak in one night in the middle of the night. Well, not quite the middle of the night. It was like 10 p.m. With lanterns and flashlights. And I did my own hardwired network. So I had Cat 6 through the entire thing. And Sarah was there helping me along the way. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. This spot that I'm standing on right now, where Sarah's garden is, Sarah's strawberry patch. Yeah, so this spot, we actually did 3 tiers of rock walls. So all the rocks that we were digging up and finding in our yard, we made rock walls, and then we put little gardens there. Pretty beautiful. We grew our own corn and stuff for the first time. But we had to dig up these rock walls, dig the hill out, because it's a pretty steep hill. This right over here, so that was a level hill all the way down. I dug that out. I did most of the digging. I didn't ask Sarah to help me on the digging part of that. And then we built this gorgeous wall where the fire pit, yeah, it still needs some work since Sarah's last video. And we built our own fire pit. How cool is that? How cool is that? And then right here behind me, I have a garden. It's a 2-foot high raised bed garden area that used to have a play structure that Braden would slide down into a tarp with water. You guys, how could I not love living in this house that I built with Sarah? Blood, sweat, tears, in a lot of the projects that we did. I promised her that dying in this house would not make it a sad place. Not having her here makes our world sad. I'm not going to lie about that. You know that. You've seen me cry about it. But this place, this home that we built, yeah. This right up here, I built this originally. Prior to the patio that we have right here, there was a deck that I built. And on the deck, we had this pergola sort of thing that I built for her for one of her birthdays. So I built that for her, but then I was getting a little nervous about the deck and we were getting the patio built. So I built this like 6-foot wall, and that's the space that we're standing on. And then I built her strawberry patch raised beds, 2-foot raised beds that kind of go around it. And it's enclosed, so Rayla could run around in here. And then part of building that, I completely disassembled the pergola that I built and brought it down here for her. And then, to make it better, we got all these grape plants. So we have 3 different types of grapes. And then we have her honeysuckle and her wisteria. And then the wind chimes that people keep sending. You guys, this is home. This is home. This is where our heart is. And do I walk in my room and not see her? Yes, I do. But I also go everywhere and I see her. Do I feel sad? Yeah. Do I have some dark thoughts sometimes when I'm feeling really sad about her being gone? Yeah. But that's not because of where we live. There's only happiness there. The sadness is because she won't be there tomorrow. Different. Totally different. Everything before that is beautiful, wonderful. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Be kind, make good choices. Love you guys.